Move 2 more. Wins to get with our quest. And so I decided to do them with Aggro Blood, because that's what I was playing earlier for quest. See, I only run 5 1-drops. I don't get them all too consistently, but Cursed Brand Vampire is just a goblin 90% of the time, and half of that other 10% you probably lose if it goes off. And even if it does, it probably doesn't save you. Whereas Ambling Wraith is actually a good 1-drop. 2 Implanters, 2 Demonic Storms, 2 Dance of Death, 2 Night Horde. And we run 2 Demonic Strike for more reach, 3 Vate's a great new card, 2 Mini Soul Devils, tech 1 Angelic Barrage because it also does damage to their face, 2 Goblin Mages, 2 Fortresses, 3 Bloodkins, 3 Claws of course, 3 Urias of course, 3 Vania of course, 3 Bloodwolf of course. So I feel that skimping on at least 1-drop, if not more, some people might even run Goblins, allows me to run extra reach in Demonic Strike. I used to not run Demonic Storm, but its potential as reach can't be denied. Also, it has that great ability to, when they stabilize on 6, that you just wipe the board and deal 3 face damage. When you're playing against Aggro Blood, your best way to do the board is so that on 6 Demonic Storm leaves you with a creature. That way you punish them for damaging themselves. That's really the most important thing there, is to punish them for actually doing the damage to themselves. Depends on what kind of sword they're running. Vanguard's a very bad card for me to see, because I have no other 2-drop than Bloodwolf. And if I don't top deck a useful card here, I'm going to be in trouble. Considering I run, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, only a quarter of my deck. Cost 4 more, and I had 3 of the cards. That was really bad. So, think of it this way, I have, 5, 8 damage. You could think of it as 10, but I'm probably going to use the Evolve here. Aurelia would be a problem. Um, but such is life. Clearly he doesn't have it. And this is totally fine. Not totally fine, because it will leave him with the Floral Fencer. Yes, and I'm off lethal by 1 for next turn. I mean, I have no choice but to Demonic Storm. And now a lot of things kill me. Like that. Not drawing a 3-drop basically cost me the game. You know, I ended the game with an Evolve. He had double Floral Fencer. And you see, he did punish me with making sure a Floral Fencer survived the Demonic Storm. Like I said, you have to... Although, even if it hadn't, I still would lose because I couldn't have lethal the next turn, basically no matter what I drew. But that is one of the rare times that you draw. You know, you saw I drew 4 of my 10 cards that cost 4 more in the top not even 10 cards of my deck, which is insane. You know, I have Ambling Wraith into my worst 2-drop. Summon Bloodkin could have been worse, but I think, no, actually, that was the worst. This is pretty bad. I mean, you kind of want Summon Bloodkin with Vania, but you're not going to get that combo off until turn 4. But it's better than nothing. Going second is definitely a disadvantage for this deck. But Maid Leader is just a great drop for me. Anything but a Whole Souled Swing or Novice Trooper. And he goes face. Wow. That is quite literally insane. We could go super aggressive and go Goblin Mage, and then intend to evolve Vate next turn. Or play Summon Bloodkin in whatever 2-drop we draw. We could also just go Mini Soul Devil. But I like the Goblin Mage giving us the option to play Summon Bloodkin and a 2-drop. Because if it's Vania, and he doesn't kill my Vania here... I assume he top decked that because he should have played it at some other point. I could just Dance of Death, trade and evolve, but I think this is better. Yeah, we have to go Demonic Storm here. It'd be great if we could also play Vate. Well, no, we can just evolve Vate and hit him in the face with Demonic Strike. Yeah. No, we can't Demonic Storm and Razor Claw, so he does need to have a minion on board for us to Dance of Death. Because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So... should be tough for him to deal 5 damage. Alwita's doesn't do it. There's no 2-drop which deals 2 damage. GG. He should have hit us in the face, because then I wouldn't have been able to play Razory Claw. That's a big mistake on his part. Because all of Blood's, except for Demonic Strike, all of Blood's burst, non-minion based burst, comes from damaging oneself. If you can put them at 2 is best, 3 if you have to because of Demonic Storm. But you see there the issue. Like, in some sense, yes, you know, such is life. Because unlike Hearthstone, if you kill yourself and then it doesn't matter, it deals the damage to your leader first, and then they check for death after that, rather than after the whole spell resolves. In Hearthstone, they wouldn't check for death in the middle of the spell. Sort of prefer to have a 3-drop over the 1-drop, but the 1-drop is very important. Like, I always think of a more mid-range style. But we get the perfect draw and are rewarded. Mini Soul Devil isn't even necessarily our best 3, especially with Vania on 2. It's definitely Vate, but, you know, whatever. Hopefully no Sylvan Justice. Of course. Wow. That is insanely lucky. You can think of it this way, I have him at 7 in terms of the damage in my hand. That's if he doesn't have Tia next turn. Yeah, we just drew absolutely awful. I don't even think it's worth wasting an evolve here. Not when Angelic Barrage kills the 4/2 after it trades. There's also no point to playing Urius because he could have just traded right into it. And we lose, but such is life. Well, Urius at least forces the trade. I had a much better run with this deck earlier. Instead, we're just getting toasted by bullshit. Perfect draws against us every time. Like, you had perfect Sylvan Justice, perfect Selwyn's Command. Nothing you can do about that. He doesn't have exactly both of those, he loses. I'm really not liking Night Horde. Like, it never does anything for me. Ever. Like, it's always a bad card. I don't get it. Like, seems like it should be a good card, but if you think about it Hearthstone terms, like Implosion, if you rolled a 2 every time, Implosion wasn't that great of a card. So, what are you going to do? Anything but Unica? We trade off because they have 1 damage and 2 damage pings. They have nothing for 3. Scratch that. That's their card for 3. Yeah, I think it's Urius Evolve Vania. That way they want to take out Vania and leave Urius up. There you go. Here we will Blood Wolf and evolve the Blood Wolf. No, I think we'll actually evolve the Bat. Again, if he has another Breath of the Salamander, he will have to choose between taking out Urius and taking out the higher attack minion. If he has Conflagration, well, that's just disappointing. But we have lethal in hand between Implancer, Razor Claw, and Ambling Wraith. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No problem. Actually, we didn't even need the evolve, just playing the Ambling Wraith would have done it. So you see slow decks, no problem for the most part. You're just way too fast even going second. Decks that play back at you with, you know, the perfect counter draws, and since people are teching against this deck pretty hard, you know, which they should be, it also helps in other matchups, like against Sword and against Forest. You know, it's not entirely surprising. You know, it's not just straight gimmies all the time. You know, even if you draw perfectly, but knowing how to play the deck, you know, count the damage you have from hand so you know how much damage you need to do with your board before it is wiped. You know, and especially take into consideration whether a ward can stop you. You know, if your hand is all Razor Claws, Demonic Strikes, Demonic Storms, Dance of Death, then wards can't stop you from dealing that damage. But if you have Implancers, then you have to be wary of whether or not they're going to put down a Tia or a Ancient Elf. And if you have Dance of Death, then you really want to save that for a ward. You know, unless you just need the damage. Again, like I said, you saw me doing it, just saying, alright, well, I have enough damage in my hand to kill them, so I need to go face and not die. And again, you saw the misplay by the sword, not hitting me in the face for 3, when that would have effectively shut down my Razor Claw, Demonic Storm, and Blood Wolf, leaving me with no real way to get through the 2-3 outside of something like Implancer, in which case I couldn't have won. I would have had to trade off, and then I would have certainly lost because even the 3 damage from the Implancer wouldn't have been enough, because again, I couldn't use any of my burn. That's one of the more important things to remember about playing against this deck. Unless they run Dark General, which is rare, they have no Vengeance cards, and they have no way to deal damage if they're at 2 health, except for Demonic Strike, exactly. Or Vania, and a tough, especially if their board is mostly clear, a tough Vampiric Fortress, which again most likely run 2 of. So